it's hard. It doesn't matter who you are. You could be the most famous man on the planet, approaching a beautiful woman or two or three congregated together and being like, I don't know you. What the hell am I supposed to say? I've just played Call of Duty and I've just drank beers with my boys and I've just watched the Jets play or the Lakers play. Like, she probably doesn't give a fuck. She probably doesn't even know what 2 out of 3 of them are.
Just hit a button, Morty. Give me a beat.
Oh man, okay, all right.
Okay guys, welcome back. Quite a quick one today. We're going to be talking about which is more important, body language versus being a sweet talker for attracting women. So by sweet talker, I mean that guy who can just talk a woman into bed, be in her ear for 5-10 minutes or maybe all night he's next to her and she's just like, this guy is just talking my pants off, let's go home. We see that in all the films, the guy who's smooth, who says all the right things, and then suddenly the woman's like, damn, that's the guy that I'm going home with tonight. He's a sweet talker. Now, which is more important? Now, I think it's going to be a quick one. The one thing you have to remember, guys, let's analyze this. So, how often the girls say, okay, that guy's really quiet. He's the broody, he's the kind of like, he's the quiet, silent, sexy type. He doesn't talk a lot, but damn, is he sexy. Okay, so you think in that scenario there, being a sweet talker wasn't really that important. And then you see the other scenario where women will say stuff like, he's a little bit geeky, he says the wrong things, he fumbles his words, but you know what? I find it kind of cute. And you have all these scenarios where the words you say don't really matter that much. You have 3 different scenarios. Sweet talker, talks her pants off. The nerdy guy who gets nervous, can't really talk properly. And then you have the other situation where you've got a quiet guy. I know there's more types, but you've got a quiet guy and women will say, oh, I actually like that. I like the fact that he says less, he's quiet, he doesn't really talk. Now we go to body language. How often do you hear a girl say anything but, I like his posture? He's got good body language, or I like his structure, he stands tall, he's confident. You don't ever hear the things that we just saw with the sweet talker, where there's exceptions to the rule, where it's like, yeah, he doesn't have to be a sweet talker. He could be shy. He could be quiet. Shy is another one. He could be quiet. He could be shy. He could be nerdy. He could fumble his words, etc. It doesn't really matter, right? Whereas the other side of the coin with the body language, you'll never hear a woman make exceptions and say, do you know what? The way his back is hunched over and he slouches is fantastic. That's exactly what I'm looking for in a man. Or just that kind of shy, floppy frame, the way that he's just kind of scared, he's within himself, he's like tucked up like this, and, he's intimidated for people to come over. That'd be like, that guy's a weirdo, I don't want to go near him. And it just doesn't work in any other sense. Or aggressive body language, if she's around you and you're towering over her, like let's say if you grab the woman by her hair and try to pull her off somewhere like an old caveman, again, it wouldn't work. There's no exceptions to the rule when it comes to body language. There's a ton of exceptions to the rule when it comes to sweet talking, to being the guy who who talks too much, but she's a chatty type and she loves that. She's like a HR and she's like, yes, this is what I need, emotional, social contact. The kind of, like we said, broody guy who doesn't really say a lot, who's really mysterious and that's attractive. The guy who stutters his words, the nerdy guy, the shy guy who doesn't really say a lot, who gets anxiety and his voice goes up and down. Some girls are like, oh, that's cute. There's so many exceptions to the rule. So it's like sweet talking has been, we've thrown that to the side. We've proved that, yeah, it might help, but there's so many different exceptions to the rule that girls still find attractive in different areas that we've proven that doesn't really matter. Whereas in body language, there's no exception to the rule. You either have good body language or you don't. You either have that kind of alpha male body language or that confident man body language or that well-built frame with the wide shoulders and the high stance, high the neck and the chin up, and you walk confidently and you move slowly and smoothly, or you don't. There's just no exception to the rule. So I think when you compare the two and you say which is more important for attracting women or daily life, being the sweet talker, the guy with the silver tongue who knows what to say, or having great body language, I think body language wins every fucking time, and it's not even a contest. And this should be music to your ears, guys, because it's hard. It doesn't matter who you are. You could be the most famous man on the planet, approaching a beautiful woman or 2 or 3 congregated together and being like, I don't know you. What the hell am I supposed to say? I've just played Call of Duty and I've just drank beers with my boys and I've just watched the Jets play or the Lakers play. Like, she probably doesn't give a fuck. She probably doesn't even know what 2 out of 3 of them are. So it's very, very hard to start a conversation with random women. So I wouldn't worry too much about that, because we've just proven that point, that body language is more important. I wouldn't worry too much about knowing what to say, or, you know, being the smooth talker that you see in films. I would focus 100% on your body language, and I would say that this needs to be my main focal point, because this is the one thing that there's no leeway for. There's no give. You know, it doesn't have any flexibility. The other shit, you can fumble, you can be shy, you can be quiet, you can say less and just, you know, but body language, there's no exception to the rule. It's either good or it isn't. You know, women aren't going to say, I love that guy being floppy. I love his floppy posture. You know, he's got weak shoulders. I find that so attractive. That shit doesn't happen, you know, or he can't look me straight in the eye. He's really nervous. That is more scary for a woman, or more off-putting for a woman, than a guy not knowing what to say, which she can see is like cute. So when it comes to body language versus being the sweet talker, focus 100% on body language. Put all your time into that area rather than being the sweet talker and knowing what to say. I guarantee that will pay off more, because it's something like 90% of our, or I think it's 93% of our communication is non-verbal. And then the remaining 7% is the words that we say. And even then, they've proven that 7% of the words that we're actually saying is very strongly linked to the tonality, the pace, the rhythm, the kind of vibrato in your voice, the strength of what you're saying, the emphasis, the pauses, the stop. You know, those sort of moments matter more for the words than anything else. So pretty much everything is body language, guys. Remember that.